Hi, I want to talk to you about writing every day and why I think that's an important part of the writing process. So, even though I teach strategic writing, and most of what strategic writers do is in the business world or nonprofit world or other professional areas, I encourage my students to take at least somewhat of a creative approach to the craft. So, as part of that, I will ask them to do some type of writing every day. And one of the strategies I use is similar to morning pages, which is a technique a lot of writers are familiar with. It comes from Julia Cameron, who wrote the famous book, The Artist Way. And what she describes is asking people to write 3 pages immediately when they wake up in the morning before they do anything else. So I'm not that strict with my students, but what I will do is have them purchase a notebook or a 3-ring binder or set aside pages in the notebook they already have that are dedicated strictly to the purpose of writing, and we will spend maybe 10 minutes at the beginning of each of our classes together and just free write. And so during this time, I encourage people to just write whatever is on their mind and not strive to write good copy, not try to do better, not edit themselves. As much as possible, turn off that voice in our head that is telling us that's a stupid word. I could have said that better. Why did I think of that? Whatever self-critical thoughts that you have a lot of times when you're trying to be creative, I encourage people to try to let that go and just stream of consciousness write. So the benefits of that are you get some practice exercising those muscles that can tell that critic to be quiet, and also we get a chance to get rid of those thoughts that are in the front of our mind and might distract us from having deeper, more creative thoughts. All of us every day have things that are in the front of our minds and are bothering us. Maybe you had a fight with somebody, maybe you're worried about a bill, maybe you're just thinking over a conversation you had that you said something that you think is silly and you wish you'd said it differently. So by just free writing for even a few minutes, it's a chance to get that stuff out on the page. So I'll really encourage students to write things that it might just be stupid writing. It may never be anything that ends up being quality writing that you pull from, that you use to a larger project or something you take to publication. But if nothing else, it lets you pour out all of those thoughts that distract you. So then later in the class, when we want to be creative, when we want to get deeper into the writing process, that those thoughts are not distracting us. The other things that this process does for me is it helps me get out of my ego a little bit because I've put those thoughts on the page. So I find that as I try to be creative and channel my creative energy, I'm putting less of my own ego and my own thoughts into my work. So I'm able to do a better job thinking about what would my clients want to hear, what would the audience I'm writing for want to hear, and I'm less influenced by whatever is on my mind that day. Also, just by the sheer fact of sitting down and doing a little bit of free writing, you've done some writing, and there's something that clicks in your brain that reminds you, oh yeah, I am a writer, because I have sat down and I have put pen to paper or pencil to paper, and it's really hard to argue with yourself that you are a writer if you are indeed sitting down and writing every day. So this is a technique that a lot of people use, but I just wanted to share how I use it in class and say that I really do admire this technique, and I find it really useful, even though it's technically more of a creative technique and the type of writing I teach is more professional. I still find it to be very useful. Thank you.